my friend. Okay, so this video I'm going to talk about a concept called a polyrhythm. Okay, so if you just listened to that opening track right there, you saw me play a pattern. It was a pattern in the time of 5/8, and I was playing that over top of another line that was in 4/4. So essentially what that is the polyrhythm. It's basically you have two lines that start at the same point, okay? And then in this case, eventually they are going to start again at that same point. Now, there's different ways to look at polyrhythm. You can have, like a common way to look at a polyrhythm is one that's called 4/3. There's another one that's called 3/2, where basically you have, we'll start with 4/3. You have four beats, four notes that take place in the same length of time as the other pattern that has three notes. So they go on top of each other. The 3/2, same thing. You have three notes that take place in the same length of time as the two notes. Now, the polyrhythm I just played for you wasn't the exact same thing as that. You basically had patterns that played, and they continuously played until they basically started again at the same point. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but that's basically what it is, more or less. So when you listen to me play that opening pattern again, if this hasn't scared you off yet, basically when you count it out, that pattern that I play, the 5/8 pattern of this, you'll hear me play that a total of 8 times from the start of when I play it over top of the 4/4 pattern. When I hit the 9th time playing that pattern, I have rendezvoused back. I have reached the same beginning point again as the 4/4 pattern. So you might have to listen to it closely. Maybe I should have done it a little bit slower, but if you count it out, maybe a couple of times, you'll see where they start, they are a little bit off from each other, and they rendezvous back at the same initial beat. So with that, why would you do something like that in music? Well, the concept behind it is, at least the way that I look at it, is it adds tension to a part. So if you wanted to create something and you wanted to add some suspense or some kind of dynamic quality, well, a direction or a tool you could use like a polyrhythm could be effective for that. It's a subjective concept because it doesn't always work. And you may listen to this example that I gave you, a 5/8 pattern over top of a 4/4 pattern, and be like, yeah, I don't like that. It just doesn't rub off on me. Whereas it may work in other regards. There's other different polyrhythm patterns too. And I may do a follow-up video to this with at least one other example of a different polyrhythm. But essentially, that's pretty much what they're for adding tension. So if you listen to that again, the example I gave you, I kind of treated it as putting a polyrhythm at the beginning of a song. And as you heard me go into this part here, okay, that basically was me going and playing something along with the 4/4 pattern. But I used the polyrhythm to build up to that. So it was kind of used for making a more dynamic introduction to perhaps a song or a section of a song. So in any case, that is an example of a polyrhythm right then and there. I hope that gives you something to inspire your songwriting or your playing. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.